Thank you so much for coming in. Come in. As you join in, we're just waiting for a few more people that are coming in. Thank you for your patience as I sit here and wait for a few more people. I appreciate it. Just a tidbit of technology. I appreciate everyone coming in and joining to support me tonight. Very much appreciate it. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much. I see some of my friends here. I appreciate you, ladies, for supporting me. Thank you so much. Just a few more minutes. I'm getting a few texts. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming in tonight and sit with me because I just wanted to take a little bit of time and talk about my husband, my late husband. Still my husband in my head. Hello and welcome. If you are here, I want you to know I see you. I appreciate you for being here. Whether you found me through my videos, my podcasts, or my book, or whether someone sent you this link because they thought you needed it, I am glad you are here. My name is LTP Hope. And today, for the very first time, I am going live. Not reading scripts, no perfect edit, voiceover, just me, my voice, and the truth. The same truth I have been sharing since I lost my husband, Tim, in August of 2024. First, I would like to try one little thing with you guys. I just want all of us to sit for a minute together and take a deep breath. Because one of the things that I talk on my book is that I am learning how to breathe again. And with that mindset, that idea, I think it's worth it for all of us to kind of take a deep breath together and USA into this moment while we sit into this little period of time. So we're going to go all together, take a deep breath. We're going to inhale and then exhale together and let the stress of the day kind of wash off of us. I count to 1, 2, 3, and we're all going to inhale together. We'll try that one more time. And then I'll get into the reason why I have you all here with me tonight. So we'll take another deep breath. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for joining me on doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and start tonight. Speaking from my heart, I wanted to introduce Tim because he deserved to be known. Tim and I met at work. He was one of the security personnel in our building. And for some reason, he always seems to know exactly when I arrive every morning. There he was, warm smile, kind eyes, patient in a way that never felt like pressure. I was not looking for anyone at the time. I told myself, I'm protecting my peace, not looking for a relationship. But Tim had a way of getting to you. He was persistent and he was so kind. Eventually, he asked me out and we ended up going out on a date. And from that night forward, we started building something real. He was the sweetest, most thoughtful man I knew. And anyone who really knew him will glad you tell you that Tim was the kindest man you will ever met. So Tim knew that I love flowers. What he will do every 2 weeks, he will make sure he will get me a bouquet of flowers. Every payday, I will get a nice bouquet of flowers and I get a bottle of red wine. He will he will bring it home. If he overheard me mention a restaurant, he will secretly make a reservation and surprise me. He was gentle, he was steady, he was calm. Tim had lived with lupus since he was young. It damaged his kidney. As a result, he had a transplant in 1999. He went through dialysis while still working full time, carrying all the equipments with him so he can change and do what he needed to do while at work. He never wanted pity. He just wanted to live. And for years, we traveled, we laughed, we built a life from simple joy. Slow, late night conversations, mornings with coffee, which he didn't drink, but it will make it for me. And the quiet belief that together we could handle anything. Then in 2024, everything changed. What I want to talk to you today is something that took me a long time to be able to say out loud. Healing is not forgetting. When time passed, I was afraid that if I started to heal, if I laugh again, if I made plans again, if I felt even a moment of peace, it would mean I was leaving him behind. Like healing was a betrayal of the love we share. But I have learned that it is not true. It took me a while. Grief is not the opposite of love. It is love, rearranged in a form we never wanted. The laughter we share still echoes. The memories still shine. The promises we made still live, even when the future no longer looks the same. Even if by myself, I intend on keeping some of those promises. Healing does not mean forgetting them. It means learning to carry him forward with me. I still have days when the aches return without warning. I can be folding laundries or standing in a grocery store, and suddenly the weight of his absence hit me so hard I have to stop and breathe. That still happen. I will not pretend otherwise. But I have learned something I want you to hear, especially if you're in the early day of a possible loss. You are allowed to heal. You are allowed to feel hope again. You are allowed to smile at a memory before it brings you to tears. That is not weakness. That is not forgetting. That is love continuing to do what love has always done, carry you forward. Tim will want that for me. And the person you love will want that for you too. I want to share something I wrote in my book. This is the preface, the very first word I wrote when I decided to put this journey on paper. I am literally reading it from the book. It says, This book began with a loss that I couldn't understand. My life changed in ways I never could have anticipated when my husband passed away. I felt broken and alone, and every day became a lesson in how to take one more breath. I didn't start writing because I had answers. I started writing because I needed to find a way through the pen. These pages were my lifeline. place to recall the love we share, to honor his memory, and to remind myself that I was still alive. Writing became a means to keep optimism alive, even when it seemed impossible. This is my story, told with honesty and a heart that is still learning how to heal. It is a story of love, loss, and the slow return of hope. Some days, the pain was too much to take. Yet, other days, the peace reminded me that I wasn't alone. I hope these words let you breathe and offer you comfort if you've lost someone. Love is always there for us, even when everything seems broken. It guides and steadies us as we move on. Thank you for letting me share my journey with you. I pray you find strength in these pages. And I pray you remember that healing does not mean forgetting. It means learning to live again with love still in your heart. I know that some of you were Tim dear friends, and I invited some of you because of that, because I know how precious Tim was to each and every one of you. At this moment, I will open up for questions. If any of you wanted to ask me any questions, please feel free to do so. I can't promise I will have all the answers, but I can try to give you my honest answer. Please feel free to share if you going through your own loss. If you have any questions for me, let me know. What has your journey been? The book is now available online at different locations if you were interested. And I do have a podcast as well that offer those same type of reflections. They are simply encouragement that propel us to move forward. Losing someone dear to you, your husband, your partner, your mate, your friend, your parent, it's a huge loss. It's not something you just get over. However, when you're young and you're going through that, you don't hear a lot of information on how to deal with it, because people expect you to just get better after a while. Well, it's been a while. You should feel better now. You should move on. But it's not that easy. There's so much more to that. So, just sharing. I decided to share this because I'm a very private person. I'm actually doing this today. This is incredible. But I thought if it could possibly help another person, maybe by something I said, an idea I share, then it was worth it. such a beautiful questions. My cousin lost her husband in January this year to cancer suddenly. Was there anything you needed that your loved one could have provided to you? I mean, to support you, especially in the early days. Wow. I think one of the thing I think was good for me, my sister, she just never left me alone. Even when I was kind of push her to go home, she was there and I needed it. I just didn't realize how much. Um, so if you have your loved one going through it, at times they're gonna wanna be by themselves. But it's just so they can either cry or go to the grief. But it's not because they really wanna be alone. If you can be there, sometimes it's just to talk, just to vent. Just be there. Be that soundboard that they need. If they just want to go for a drive, whatever they need at that time, just listen, talking about the person. My husband actually died suddenly too, I will say, because my husband passed away within 4 weeks of being diagnosed with cancer. I was shocked. I wasn't ready for that. I was fighting for answer, but it happened so suddenly for me. I think just being there, listen, check up on them anyways, even if they say I don't need anything. Not true. The hardest thing I find that nighttime is the hardest, cause you home by yourself. You're not keeping busy or pretending to stay busy to forget. Everything is running in your mind at that time. Oh, I appreciate the word of encouragement. It is true. It takes a lot to get out of your comfort zone. But being there for that person no matter what, even when they say no, just stop by, check up on them. Take them out sometimes. You just go for fresh air instead of staying home. That's really helpful. Another thing that worked for me, I know it may not be that easy or convenient for everyone. Not that it was easy for me, but that kind of helped me somewhat. I had to change my apartment. I wasn't afraid, but it just the memories of it all the time. Because my husband, when I get home from work, he'll be right at the door waiting for me. So that reminder just that was killing me. Every time I walk home, I'm expecting to be there. So different little thing that they may need, however support you can give, just be there. Be there for a long time. I still call her my sister. I mean, I still talk about him all the time. Um, I will talk to one of his best friend that is actually here right now, Rodney. I'll talk, I'll curse sometime with him about him. When I'm mad or grief come in all type of form. It doesn't have a decorum or you have to be nice, you have to be formal. Be honest. Some days when I'm driving by myself and I think about him or I start crying because of something he used to do, oh yeah, I'll have a conversation with him. We'll talk. But that's the reality of it though. Just looking. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. The reason why I did this is because I realized that a lot of people didn't actually know Tim. He was such a quiet person. He didn't talk a lot, but his heart, he had such a big heart. He was the best of husband, brother, friends, co-worker. He had a lot of people that love and adore him. And he have unfortunately some who didn't know him. So as we go through these stages, it makes you realize what's important in your life. Talk to your loved ones. Don't sleep on small things. Just talk about it. At the end of the day, you realize they're not that serious. Because you never know. I will eventually dig into some more detail as far as the diagnosis, how it happened so suddenly. And when I say so suddenly, it's not really, I don't feel it was suddenly. It's just that the medical system had failed him. And by the time we find out, it was already too late. So I will talk about that, I think, at some time later. Because there is so many different little things on there. Oh, thank you. Yes, Tim had a big heart. That spirit, oh my goodness. Sometime I remember I used to say to him, "Babe, say something, speak up." He'll be so quiet. He won't talk much, but when he does speak, you'll listen. But his spirit, his kindness, gentleness. He was like a giant, a big giant, gentle giant, I should say. Um, if you had a chance to get to know him or to even be around him, then you realize, oh wow, that is so true. That is them. That is them. And Tim loved this family. Oh my Lord, he loved his family. Um, there wasn't anything he wouldn't do for them. I put a question mark on that, and but yeah, Tim, he was special for sure, for sure. One of the question earlier too was asked how can you be a support to your family member, your cousin? Um, During that time, they truly don't want to cook. I know still now I don't want to cook because I used to cook because my husband enjoyed my meal. Now cooking become not. I don't like it anymore. Let's put it like that. I eat out mostly. Um, my mom cooks a lot for me. I'm just lucky. Um, the other time I've been purchasing meal. So if your family member is into meal prep, you might consider getting a gift card for that. That's very helpful, especially when you don't feel like cooking when you come home from work. So the meal prep, they're already there. They can just bake them. That's helpful. Um, yes, Tim was a big football and basketball fan. He talked. I mean, he watched those like no yesterday. On Sunday, he'll be on from 12 until 12 noon till 12 a.m. in the morning. That was his thing. So I know I was like, okay, babe, enjoy. I'm somewhere else. um, yes, meal prep is definitely awesome because I know I'm still enjoying them right now. When I don't feel like cooking, I just warm up something. That helps. And the other thing too is that if you don't have that, you kind of want to eat junk food. So the meal prep, they have some good one out there. I don't know. I'm using some other good ones, but depending on the person choice and taste, they'll find pretty good ones out there. That is good. And if they have kids, my goodness, please be there and support them if they have small kids. My stepchildren are grown, so that's why I don't mention them as much. But they're young kids, just be there, support for even for the kids to just talk. And right now, after 20, I think yesterday was 20 something months since my husband passed, because he passed August 13, 2024. I am still going to therapy. Let's be honest, we need it. Mentally, we need to have that. It helps me a whole lot. At one point, I was seeing two of them. So, Tim loved travel. Oh my goodness. When we first met, he didn't like to do anything. He just liked to go to work. I said, "Oh no, darling, if you want to be with me, you can't travel. We can't be together." Because it was absolutely a must for me. We have to travel every year. We had to go somewhere. So, for someone who used to work for all the holidays, all the PTO he can get, he will work them. Even though he earned them, he would not go on vacation. When I met him, we start traveling. Then all of a sudden, I couldn't keep him. We were planning for the next vacation before we finished the one we in. Oh my goodness. Oh, I remember we were in London. We were at all the place Meghan Markle was married because it was in 2019. Oh my goodness. We had such a good time. We were taking picture all over the place. Then we went to Paris. We were at the Eiffel Towers. At the time, I had just had a surgery. I couldn't walk a lot. I was working slow. But we had such a good time. I have those pictures still now. He just loved taking pictures. I remember we had hired a bus to take us to Stonehenge in London, and he was there. We were just taking picture. At one point, he had gotten so cold, and I said, "Babe, I can't take this cold anymore. I need to go somewhere." He said, "Okay, babe, go ahead. I'm taking a few more pictures." He just loved taking pictures, and we started going to cruises. Oh my goodness, we were going from one place to another. So if we didn't travel to go overseas flying, then we'll just go on a cruise. Right before he passed, actually, I had to cancel the trip because we were supposed to go to Costa Rica on July 22nd, 2024. We find out that he had cancer on July 2nd, 2024. So I had to cancel that vacation to Costa Rica. One trip that I have to do. Yeah, we travel, and my sister my sister and my husband had such a great relationship. Sometimes I'm sitting and I'm just like, "Excuse me, hello, you married to me? You ignoring me for my sister? What's happening here?" But I love it. I love their relationship. I live 3 hours away. Well, before we moved to Virginia, because I'm in Virginia now. We used to live in Florida. So my husband and I live 3 hours away from my sister. So we will just jump into the car. He goes, "Oh, let's go and see Sissy. Let's go see Sissy." He'll just check up on her so much. He'll make sure she have what she needed because she could not lift something. Then he'll make sure, no, we gotta make sure Sissy's okay. Sissy's good. Always checking up on her. I love that relationship, and that's the relationship I wish I had had with his family. Different story, but I love the relationship he had with my mom. My mom loved him as if he was his own son, if not more. I don't know. My mom always wanted more kids, and Tim happened to be one of the one that she loved. She adores Tim. Um, they had a great relationship as well. It was great to see them having that kind of relationship with my husband. He was I mean, you cannot not love him. He was so lovable. You can want to be mad with him, but eventually it was like, okay, can't stay mad with this guy. He's gonna find something to make me laugh. Even in the hospital, as sick as he was trying to make me laugh. It's like, really, babe, right now? You're trying to do this right now? And my heart was tearing, but he's still trying to make me laugh. Are you okay, babe? You sure? I was like, yeah, babe, I'm good. Then I go into the bathroom. I just cry myself to death. Wash my face and come back out. Yeah, babe, I'm good. I'm good. I had to be strong because I could not let him see me falling apart when I know he's sick in the bed. How do you do that? Oh, Tim was so very lovable. Thank you, Debbie. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. I promise you, I've seen one person where I live right now, and I told her, I said, I promise you, your husband and my husband are twin because he's so much like him, and he remind me so much of my husband. I said, you gotta leave because you bother me with this. You remind me too much of my husband right now. He was so nice. He was so nice. He didn't have a lot of friends now, but his friends were quality friends. The people that he hang out with, they were few but valuable, quality people. He can call on for anything, and they can call on him for anything. We all need that in our lives, you know. Um, Going to church with him, I remember. He would not clap his hand, and I would teach him. I was like, babe, you gotta clap your hand. You're in church, you know. Eventually, he got the rhythm, and he was enjoying it. It was good. The different little things, teaching him how to cook, to eat my food. Because of course, when I cook, he didn't used to eat spicy food. I was like, babe, I'm trying, but you gotta get with the program here. You know, you marry an island woman. You're gonna eat some spicy food. So eventually, he started enjoying some of the meals and stuff like that. And my mom just loved to give him so much food, as if we could eat it all. But we had a great relationship. I'm glad I have met him. We had a good life. I can say that we had a good life. And I remember before this whole thing, has because we went to Memorial Stone Hospital in Manhattan, in New York. So he had his first chemo there. After 10 days, we got back. And I can see he was getting sicker. And I said, babe, whatever you want to do, I support you. If you want to continue with this treatment or don't want to do it, whatever you do, I support you. But it get to a point where I actually had to be honest with him, though it was killing me inside. But I could not stand seeing him in so much pain. So I had that honest conversation. It wasn't an easy one. I said, babe, I know. I don't want you to leave this place. But at the same time, don't do anything because of me. I don't want you to suffer like that. If you don't feel like you want to do this anymore, it's okay. I understand. It won't be easy, but we'll be okay. Then he said, babe, I don't want to do any more dialysis. I said, okay. That's fine. Sometimes we want our loved ones to be there for as long as possible. But sometimes we also have to realize that They are trying to hold on to please us because their body can no longer handle the pain at the end, and they just need a permission. It's not easy, but once we get to the point where we can let them go peacefully, the transition happened quickly because they were waiting for that. The last conversation we had, he said, "You made me so happy." Yeah. I asked him if he was happy, and he said it was. He had enjoyed the last 5 years of his life. I miss him. The one thing I know that's good, the morning before he passed, I heard him say, "Someone is at the door." We were in the ICU, early morning. There could be anybody there because there's no visitor coming in there. So I got up because I was in there in the room laying on a chair. I got up and went and walked to his bedside, and I pulled the shit a little bit. I said, "Babe, there's nobody here. It's just you and me. You know I got you. Go ahead, go back to sleep." I talked to him, and then I went back to the chair where I was laying down. By that time, he had been in the hospital for over 20 days, and I had refused to leave his bedside because I didn't want anyone to talk to him without me being present. I work in the hospital, I live in the hospital, I eat there, I change there. I didn't go anywhere. I wanted to hear everything that was being said. So when he said that, I got up, I fixed the sheets, I talked to him, then I went back on the chair. I look at the time, it was like 5:30 in the morning. It was a Tuesday morning. Next thing I know, I heard a bunch of running. I'm thinking, oh yeah, maybe there's a code blue, they're going to a womb or something. Not thinking they're going to my womb or they're coming to my womb because I just talked to my husband, he's fine. Little did I know they were coming to my womb. I just heard they just bust the door open. There were so many people in that womb. I was like, what's going on? They were just screaming his name. "Mr. Patterson, Mr. Patterson." I was like, what's going on? I just talked to him, it's fine. I was like, no, Mom. His heart stopped in the back. because he had a heart monitor. I was like, I just talked to him. He's like, nope. I stood there frozen because I just talked to him and they're telling me no. I was like, no what? Yes, indeed. One thing I will say, if you have someone in a hospital room, a friend that is sick, a family members, please, please, please try to go by and visit. Be there. Give a phone call. That support means more than you know. And knowing that somebody is checking on that sick person, that person get a different kind of care. Trust me, it's important. Let them smell the flower while they're alive. When they die, who cares? They can't smell it anymore. Send them flower now when they can smell it. Show the love now. Pick up the phone. Hey, love you, sis. Love you, bro. You don't want to leave with regret. Oh, I wish I did that. I wish I could have done that. By then, it's too late. No matter how much you say it at a funeral, you cry, you can't make that out. It's gone. I knew Tim had a good relationship with anybody who comes around him. When I was telling my sister what he says, because I'm saying somebody at the door, at the time I was so in shock because hours later my husband was gone. My sister said, "Do you realize what happened?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" The angel of God came for him. He was able to see it. And I said, "Oh, that." I wasn't thinking about that. Yeah, I know spiritually all these things in my head, but at the time, that was the last thing on my head. You hear these stories sometimes from people, but until you're in that moment when it happened to you, when you're living it doesn't make sense. So after the fact, when I thought about it, I said, oh, okay. So he was able to see the person he said was at the door. Someone was there. Angel of God coming for him to take him home. It wasn't for me to see it because it wasn't my time. But he did see the person. I just didn't. I was like, wow, okay. That's what it is. I knew he's somewhere safe. I knew he's with God. There's no doubt in my mind. But I also had question for God. I'm not gonna lie, I did. I said, God, you could have saved him. You could have protected him. You could have healed him. Why so fast? 4 weeks. July 2nd, we find out he have cancer. July 12th, we find out it's stage 4. August 13th, he was gone. 4 weeks. He was gone. Not enough time to even find out anything. Talk, catch up. What? What do you mean? He's gone. He's gone. As I wrap up this moment, before I go, I want to leave you with something I carry with me every day. As I mentioned earlier, in his final days, he told me that I made him happy and that he loved our lives together. And he says that marrying me was the best decision of his life. I hold those words like a treasure, not because they ease the pen, they do not, but because they remind me that love was real. Our lives together was real, and that love doesn't end when someone leaves this earth. It changes shape, it finds new ways in how we remember, how we carry them, and how we choose to keep going. If you are still learning how to breathe again, I am right here with you, one breath at a time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for trusting me with your grief and to listen to me talking about him. If you can hear me, thank you for giving me the strength to go home. I appreciate each one of you. Yes, Tim was a genuinely beautiful soul. Honestly, I can't think of a person he was an enemy to. I pray that a little time that we just spent together share some insight into who my husband was. I do realize after that he actually was my true love. I never say it to him, but he knew. We had our ways. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Thank you for listening to me talking about my husband and sharing with you my love for him. That's what it was. Until next time, I wish you all good night. Good night, everyone. Night. What should I